Hello everyone, welcome back again to another live section. Thank you so much for joining me again. Now, if you know you're actually doing something at the moment, can you just leave it and come and listen to what I have to tell you guys? Then after, you can go back to whatever you're doing. Now, my people, listen. October 10th is not just a date on the calendar, it is the day of decision. That is the last day of this sham called trial. For years, they have dragged Nnamdi Kanu in and out of court like a common criminal. But we know the truth. He's not a criminal. He's a freedom fighter, and this injustice must end. Now, they keep adjoining, they keep dragging it out. And this is what I call the endless delay tactic. They want to use the adjournment of Nnamdi Kanu's case to keep, adjourning his case. So they keep adjourning it, they keep dragging it out. Do you know why? Because they want to waste time. They want to break his spirit. They want to tire us out. But let me tell you, this strategy will fail. Justice delayed is what justice denied, and we cannot sit back while they turn justice into punishment. Now, why the lawyers must withdraw? This is what I really think. The lawyers must withdraw at this point. Every time his lawyers appear, they make it look like due process is happening, but nothing is happening. It is a trap. The government wants to use the lawyers to legitimize illegality. That is why if the government refuses to free him on the 10th October, the lawyers must withdraw immediately. No more lending credibility to prosecution. The lawyers need to hand off the case. Anything they want to do to Nnamdi Kanu, they should do. Anything the federal government wants to do, they can now do it. But what the lawyers should do is they should hand off this case, because the more I know that the lawyers they want to make money with this court, they want to make money. So I don't like the fact that anytime they say they want to adjourn the Nnamdi Kanu's case, the lawyers are keeping quiet. No, they should act, they should talk. This time around, they should just leave the case, withdraw. The lawyers should withdraw the case this time, and they should clear their hands of this case and let the federal government do anything they want to do with Nnamdi Kanu. The lawyers must withdraw immediately. No more lending credibility to prosecution. Now, the humiliation of a people, when you see Nnamdi Kanu in hard court, do you know what that means? It is not only him they are humiliating every Biafran. They are humiliating every man, every woman, every child who believes in freedom. That is why when you see him in court, you feel like crying, because it feels like you are the one on that dock. That pain is collective. That pain is what national. That pain is generational. He is a political prisoner and not what? A criminal. From October 10, if his lawyers step aside, the truth will shine brighter than ever. Nnamdi Kanu will no longer be a so-called defendant. From that day forward, he becomes officially a political prisoner, and the world must recognize it. He's not standing trial for crime, but for conviction, not for violence, but for freedom. That's why I said that the lawyers should hand off they should withdraw themselves for this case, so that we'll know that he's a political prisoner 100% and not a defendant. Let's know that he's a political prisoner, and let everybody let the whole world recognize that he's a political prisoner. The lawyers need to wash their hands off this case, hand up, leave this case entirely. Let the federal government go ahead and do what they want to do. Let us see what they really want to do to Nnamdi Kanu. Now the world is watching. The world is not blind. The United Nations knows it. Amnesty International knows it. Recently, Amnesty International came out and talked about during Buhari's administration that 1,800 people were killed in the southeast. So when I tell you that the world is watching, the world is not blind. Amnesty International also knows about it. Human rights organizations around the globe know it, but they're waiting for one clear signal for the lawyers to withdraw, for the pretense to collapse, so that the world can no longer be fooled by talks of trials. That is when international pressure will explode. A message to the Nigerian government: let me speak directly. If you believe in your justice, defend it yourself. Accuse yourself, judge yourself, sentence yourself, because the people of Biafra will no longer be part of your cycles. We will not stand there and clap while you persecute our leader. October 10 must be the last day of this nonsense. The spirit of the solidarity, any day Kanu goes to court is the same day we all go to court with him. That is what solidarity. Any injury to Kanu is an injury to all of us. That is unity. You can imprison one man, but you cannot imprison a people. And that truth will live beyond any government, beyond any judge, beyond any sham trial. Now, the emotional burden. People send me messages daily. Mothers are crying, fathers are lamenting. Youth are saying they cannot eat, they cannot sleep, because every court appearance is like a torture to their soul. That is not only about law, it's about humanity, it's about dignity, it's about justice for a people that have suffered too long. History will judge. History is watching, the world is watching, and history will not forgive those who continue to persecute a man for speaking truth. One day, those who mock justice will themselves stand before that judgment of history, and that day is coming. So I say it once again: stop going to court. Stop going to they should stop going to court. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer should they should clear themselves of this court case. They should withdraw from this court case. They should stop going to court. Because every appearance is humiliation. Every appearance is mockery. But once it stops, once they stop going to court, the truth will shine. From October 10th, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be recognized 100% as a political prisoner, and the world will never ignore it again. Enough is enough. The injustice needs to end now. They need to end now. I understand the fact that the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers, they want to make money, but they should not always keep quiet. They should not always keep quiet. They should speak up. They should speak up and stop this. There's no anytime they want to adjourn the case. They just keep quiet. That's why I told them they need to withdraw from this case. Need to withdraw, because if they don't withdraw from this case now, nobody is going to keep talking about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But if they withdraw from this case, you see that the whole world will now understand that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is what, a political prisoner. And then you see the whole world will now start talking and start recognizing it as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a political prisoner. That is the only thing that they need to do. So guys, let's go on now. Like I always say, I say that the 10th October is the day of truth. The day we must put an end to this charade. For too long, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been dragged before a court that is not seeking justice, but revenge. Enough of this humiliation, enough of this persecution. Now, is this justice or mockery? They call it trial, but is it really a trial when the same government that kidnapped him is the one persecuting him? Is it a trial when the same people who violated international law are now pretending to uphold Nigerian law? No, this is not justice, this is mockery. And October 10 must mark the end of it. The violation of international, let us not forget, the UN Working Group on Arbitrary Detention already ruled that Nnamdi Kanu was illegally detained. International law says he should be freed immediately, but Nigeria ignored this. So I ask, what kind of court are we talking about? When international rulings are trampled underfoot, that is why every court sitting is illegitimate. The historical parallel, history is repeating itself, just like in 1967 when Biafrans were betrayed at the Aburi Accord. Today again, Nigeria is betraying justice. They sign agreement, they make promises, and then they turn around and break them. The same pattern, the same deceit. But we must say, enough of history repeating itself. This betrayal cannot continue. The psychological warfare, this is not only about chains and cords, it's about psychology. They want to break the will of the people. They want to show us our leader in handcuffs so that we'll feel defeated. They want to reduce his image to that of a criminal so that we lose hope. But let me tell you, it is not Kanu they are chaining. It is justice. It is truth, and truth cannot be chained forever. October 10 is not just another date. It is the line in the sand. If the government refuses to release him, then his lawyers must withdraw, because the more they attend, the more they legitimize illegality, but the moment they walk away, the marks will fall. From that day, the world will see it clearly. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a political prisoner and not a defendant. A mirror to the world. The world cannot continue to look away. Nigeria sits at the table of nations, pretending to be a democracy, yet holds men and women hostage for their belief. If this can happen to Nnamdi Kanu, it can happen to anyone. That is why this case is bigger than him. It's about the very soul of justice in Africa, the burden of on the people. Every day, Biafrans watch him in court, their hearts are crushed. People write to me saying they cannot eat, they cannot even bear the pain of seeing their leader paraded like a criminal. This is not only Kanu suffering, it is the suffering of millions, and that's why this injustice must end, not tomorrow, not next year, but October 10th, 2025. This is the message to the government. I'm sending a message to the government. If you truly believe in justice, free him. But if you are determined to continue in persecution, then do it alone. Accuse yourselves, defend yourselves, judge yourself, sentence yourself, because the people will no longer participate in these cycles. If you guys believe that, if you truly believe in justice, then free him. But if you're determined to continue to persecute this man, then do it alone. Don't involve Kanu's lawyers. They should accuse themselves. They should accuse them. They should defend them. They should also judge themselves there and also sentence themselves. But they should never try to, bring Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers to it. Like I always say, the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, withdraw yourself from this case. If you withdraw yourself from this case, now people will start talking, and then people in the whole world, they will know that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a political prisoner. 100% political prisoner. You find out that everybody in the whole world will start talking. The Nigerian government should then, they should not accuse themselves and defend themselves, and also judge themselves and sentence themselves, because this is not this is not this is not Martin Nnamdi Kalu's lawyers in progress now. Martin Nnamdi Kalu's lawyers are backed up from the case. Now I'm going to be telling you guys the power of withdrawal. And the reason why I told the Martin Nnamdi Kalu lawyers to withdraw. This is the power of what a withdrawal can do. The withdrawal of the lawyers is not surrender. No, it is not surrender. It is strategy. It is power. It is the final exposure of the truth, because once they step away, the government can no longer pretend that this is justice. From that day, the case collapses into the dustbin of illegitimacy, and the world will rise with stronger voices. The future of the struggle, my people, understand this. Nnamdi Kanu is not one man. He's a movement. He's an idea, and you cannot imprison an idea. October 10 is not the end of the struggle. It is the beginning of a new phase. A phase where the truth stands taller than lies and justice stands stronger than persecution. So, like I always keep saying, I will keep saying, what I'm only saying is that we need to rally for a cry. So I say it again: stop going to court. Mazi Nnamdi Kalu's lawyer should back off. They're not backing up because they're surrendering. They're backing up because they need to expose some certain things. They need to stop going to court, because every court appearance is another wound to our hearts. But the very day it stops, the truth will stand naked before the world. From October 10th, Mazi Nnamdi Kalu will be recognized 100% as a political prisoner, and the world will never ignore it again. Never will they ever ignore Mazi Nnamdi Kalu again. That is if people have recognized that, oh, this man is now a political prisoner. Enough is enough. This injustice must end. The Amnesty International, they're seeing what is going on. They're seeing the way that Mazi Nnamdi Kalu is being treated. Tinubu was shocked. Tinubu was shocked when Amnesty International came out and told Bola Ahmed Tinubu that in Buhari's administration, 1,800 people have been killed in the southeast. He was shocked that these people are watching. Oh, they even have records of what is going on in the southeast, to show you that they are also aware of this Mazi Nnamdi Kalu's case. They are aware. So I'm telling you guys the contradiction of democracy. Nigeria calls itself a democracy, but how can a democracy hold a man in detention after court ordered his release? This contradiction exposes the Nigerian government as authoritarian, not what democratic. Just look around. Politicians who steal billions walk free. Bandits who kill and kidnap are rehabilitated. But Nnamdi Kanu, who only spoke truth, is chained in court. This is selective justice, and selective justice is injustice. The cost of silence: the more the world keeps quiet, the more dangerous Nigerians becomes for everyone. Today it is Kanu, tomorrow it could be journalists, activists, or even opposition leaders. Silence today is danger tomorrow. The image of Nigeria before the world. I'm telling you guys the image of Nigeria now before the whole world. Nigeria spends billions on image laundering, hiring lobbyists in Washington and London. But every picture of Nnamdi Kanu in handcuffs destroys that image more than any propaganda can repair. This case is a global embarrassment. This is not just about politics. Nnamdi Kanu is a human being, a husband, a father, a son. Denying him freedom is denying a family their right to love and unity. How many nights have his parents, siblings, and loved ones cried in silence? This is what human were cruelty. The illegality of extraordinary rendition. Never forget that he was kidnapped from Kenya in a foreign land and smuggled back illegally. That is called what? Extraordinary rendition, a crime under international law. If Nigeria got him illegally, then every trial that follows is illegal. The burden on Biafrans abroad. Everywhere Biafrans go, in the UK, in the US, in Europe, they carry this stigma. When they speak of home, people ask, where is your leader in chains? Why is your leader in chains? The pain is not just in Nigeria, it is global. You see, everywhere Biafrans go, even in the UK and in the US and in Europe, they used to carry this type of stigma. Anytime when they speak of home, people will not ask. People in America or outside the country will not ask, why is your leaders in chain? The pain is not just Nigeria, it is global, both in the US, both the people who are living in the U. It's globally. Now, the court of public opinion, even Nigeria's courts keep him. The court of public opinion has already judged, and in that court, Nnamdi Kanu is not a criminal. He's a prisoner of conscience. That verdict is more powerful than any judge's gavel. The fear of his voice. Why is Nigeria afraid of Nnamdi Kanu? Because of his voice? a voice that wakes the sleeping, a voice that questions the powerful, a voice that gives courage to the oppressed. They fear his voice because truth is dangerous to lie. I'm telling you guys the power of October 10, 2025. Many people have been asking me what is likely going to happen in 10th October 2025, and this is it. If the lawyers walk away on October 10th, Nigeria will lose its cover. They will be exposed as jailers, not judged from that day. The marks falls. From that day, it is no longer a trial, it is a pure political what? Persecution. The example for Africa, this case is not just Nigeria, it is Africa. If Nigeria succeeds in silencing Kanu, every African dictator will copy the same method. But if he is freed, it will inspire millions across the continent that justice can prevail. This is the cry of the people. People are suffering. When they see him in court, they cry. When they see him in chains, they feel chained too. Nigerians think it is breaking one man, but it's actually breaking the hearts of millions. This is the test of Tinubu's government. This is also a test for Tinubu. Will he free Kanu and prove his difference? Or will he continue Buhari's legacy of injustice? The world is watching. Just like I told you guys, Amnesty International is watching. This case will define his presidency more than any what campaign speech. Just like recently just like on Friday, I think on Thursday, the Canadian court came out and told us that PDP and APC are criminal organizations and they're involved in terrorists. And Bola Tinubu was surprised, and he was surprised because he didn't expect it. Now this is just a message I'm going to be telling Bola Tinubu. The Canada has spoken. This is small. Everybody is watching, so don't think that this thing is only happening within Nigeria. Canada is watching. United States of America are watching. UK are watching what you're doing to this innocent man. The same Amnesty International came out and exposed that during Buhari's administration, 1,800 people were killed in the southeast. And Tinubu was also shocked about that one. He has forgotten that all these people are watching. And do you know the punishment for all these things? The punishment that all these countries may give to Bola Tinubu, and not everybody associated in PDP and APC and everybody in power because of the way that treating Nnamdi Kanu, they may give them a travel ban. Yes, a travel ban, or even freeze their assets. Now, just like I'll keep saying, the strengthening of withdrawing. Now I'm going to be telling you guys that Nnamdi Kanu lawyers withdrawing is not a weakness. No, it's not weakness. For the fact that they're withdrawing, it's not like they want to surrender. It's not weakness. It is strength. It is strategy. It says refuse to legitimize what? Injustice. It is strength. It is strategy. It says we refuse to legitimize what? Injustice. From that day, Nigeria will have to defend itself before the world without the cover of legality. Now, this is the unstoppable idea. Finally, remember, you can jail a man, but you cannot jail an idea. They can chain Nnamdi Kanu, but they cannot what? Chain the dream of freedom. Ideas travel faster than bullets, stronger than wars, deeper than prisons. That is one thing they don't know. You can try to change this man, but you've not changed his idea, because his ideas will travel around the world and it will never be forgotten because it's going to be written in history. Now, the weaponization of the court. Nigerian government is not using court for justice, but as weapons, dragging Kanu endlessly to create a theater of oppression. This is not law, this is what persecution. The danger of setting a precedent. If Nigeria gets away with extraordinary rendition and endless detention, it sets a precedent. Tomorrow, any government can kidnap opponents abroad, silence them, and the world will do nothing. This is a dangerous blueprint. The emotional toll of the masses. Biafrans describe sleepless nights, tears, and depression whenever they see Kanu in court. This case is not only political, it has become a mental health crisis for millions who feel chained alongside him. The hypocrisy of international allies. Nigeria receives aid and partnership from the UK, US, and EU in the name of democracy. Yet those same allies watch as Nigerians violate the very principles of democracy. This hypocrisy must be called out. The failure of Nigerian leadership. Nigerian leaders are afraid of dialogue. They prefer handcuffs to conversation. A true leader negotiates with dissenters. Only detectors silence them. The international legal obligation. Nigeria signed international treaties that forbid extraordinary rendition and demand fair trials. By holding Kanu, Nigeria is not just breaking its own constitution, it is what breaking international law. The symbol of chained hope. Every image of Kanu in chains is symbolic. It says hope itself is chained, but hope cannot be chained forever. Eventually, the chains will break and the symbolism will flip from oppression to victory. Now, the weapon of delay. Dragging cases for years is not justice. It is punishment without conviction. Delay itself has become the government's weapon, but every delay only deepens global war suspicion of their motive. The case has united millions of Biafrans abroad, in America, in Europe, in Asia. They protest, write letters, fund legal battles. This unity is proof that an idea has already crossed borders. Nigeria claims to respect religion, but Christianity and Islam both teach justice and truth. Yet here, they ignore their own moral codes. Religious leaders' silence in this matter is a loud betrayal. Now, from the Aburu Accord betrayal to today, the story is the same. Igbo voices are silenced, agreements broken, justice denied. The Kanu case is not isolated, it is history repeating itself. Now, by chaining Kanu, Nigeria proves it is insecure. If the nation was stable and united, one man's voice would not terrify it. Only a fragile state fears ideas more than bullets. The millions of young Africans are watching this case. They are deciding whether to believe in law or abandon it completely. If they see injustice triumph, it will radicalize them against government. Yes, it will. To radicalize them against government. Every time Nigerians delay or brutalize Kanu, international media picks it up from BBC to Al Jazeera. The story travels. Nigeria cannot silence the press the way it tries to silence Kanu. The power of martyrdom. Even if Nigeria refuses to release him, they are turning Kanu into a martyr. Our martyrs are immortal. Martyrs at live detectors. Martyrs inspire generations long after prison doors are being closed. Now, that is just one thing they don't understand. They are, they don't know what they're doing to themselves. They don't know that they're even doing more harm to themselves. They're not doing harm to Mazen and Bikalu. They're not. So the courtroom as a stage of humiliation. Nigeria is not seeking justice. They are parading Kanu like a trophy, using the courtroom as a theater of humiliation to weaken the morale of his followers. The hidden fear of dialogue. The government knows that if they sit at the table with Kanu, these arguments will expose their life. That's why they prefer chains to microphone. The silence of African Union. The AU claims to protect African rights, yet it is silent. The silence is proof that African institutions are weak, afraid of powerful governments, and unable to defend citizens. The economic distraction. While Nigeria suffers hunger, unemployment, and inflation, billions of nairas are wasted, dragging Kanu to court. This shows misplaced priorities, chasing one man while millions starve. The international embarrassment. Nigeria advertised itself as the giant of Africa by the way it handles Kanu has turned into an embarrassment of the international world community. Now, this is the proof of selective justice. While corrupt politicians accused of looting billions roam free, one man who spoke his mind is changed. This double standard is the clearest evidence of injustice. The power of silence. If lawyers pull out and stop appearing in court, silence becomes the loudest protest. Silence will force Nigerians to face its own shadows without a scapegoat. The emotional bond with the people. Kanu's case is not just political, it is deeply emotional. People see themselves in him. They see their pain, their struggles, their dreams. That is why he's suffering caught so deeply. Now, Nigerians' refusal to follow due process may one day trigger sanctions, travel bans, or diplomatic isolation. The world is watching, and patience has its limits. History reminds us of Mandela, who was once branded a terrorist, chained and humiliated. issue. I'm really sorry for the network issue. So let us actually go on. You see the reason why I'm always telling the Mazen and the college lawyers to back off and withdraw themselves from this case. Them withdrawing is not a surrender. It's a way of telling the Nigerian government that anything you guys want to do, just do it. At least the whole world will now understand that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is not 100% a political prisoner. And then you see the whole world will start talking. So, the whole world will start talking. Just like I always say, the test of democracy, the real test of democracy is how it treats its dissenters. By its treatment of Kanu, Nigeria has already, failed its test. Yes, Nigeria has already failed this test because we've understood what they are doing. The way they are treating Kanu is showing that they have actually failed, the test. So, guys, I want you guys to listen to the lawyer of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, and I'll write back. And also, please don't forget that we use this platform to agitate for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. So, please do type in the comment section, free Nnamdi Kanu, and also drop your comment below because we'll be taking a look at all your comments one by one. So, please do type in the comment section, free Nnamdi Kanu. So, guys,
so today I'm wearing two hats. I'm speaking on behalf of Nnamdi Kanu. I'm also speaking on my own behalf. My name is Aloy Ejimako. I'm the special counsel to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and the indigenous people of Biafra. And I'm speaking to you from a location in Nigeria. The man, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, is well known. He's everywhere. He's on Wikipedia. He's an internationally acclaimed freedom fighter. But there's just a few things I need to tell you about him. What brought him to limelight was the formation of the indigenous people of Biafra in the United Kingdom in 2012. Simultaneously, he also founded Radio Biafra. And these two organizations were aimed at one thing: liberation for the people of Biafra, or restoration of the former Republic of Biafra that went defunct in 1970. The right to self-determination is a right that is guaranteed internationally, domestically, and continentally. It's within the black letters of Nigerian law at Article 20 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. The right to self-determination is guaranteed. So the formation of IPOB did not break any law. Not laws of the United Kingdom, not international law, not Nigerian law. But guess what? When Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, who was born in Nigeria, but who acquired British citizenship later on, came to Nigeria in October 2015, the government of President Muhammadu Buhari, which had come to power in May, decided to arrest him. He was not arrested between 2012 and 2015 because the government of the day at that time understood that self-determination is not a crime. But the government that came into power in 2015 in May decided that self-determination is going to be treated as a criminal activity. So he was arrested in Lagos. He was charged for treason, also for insulting the president and illegal importation of radio equipment. 3 charges. The treason one, they split it into 2, treason by himself and treason by conspiracy. This thing went on from 2015 until April 2017, when he was eventually granted bail. So he was detained for nearly 18 months. After granting him bail, he returned to his ancestral home in the southeastern part of Nigeria, and he was enjoying his bail when suddenly, between 10 September and 14 September 2017, the Nigerian army, without any justification whatsoever, levied lethal, massive military operations against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's ancestral home. That day, he was sitting at home with so many people, his family members, including his 2 elderly parents. The attack was lightning, it was a bleakridge, it was massive, and it was not the type of an attack you will expect a national military force to levy on a civilian location. But they did. At the end of the day, 28 people lost their lives, Nnamdi Kanu sustained injuries. His parents sustained injuries as well, but somehow, by the grace of God, they all managed to escape. From there, the rest is history. And because there was a national and international manhunt for him by the security forces, which rules of engagement was to shoot, not to maim. If you see Nnamdi Kanu, if you encounter him anywhere, shoot not to maim. Not to maim, but shoot to kill. That's what they went there to do on 10 September, but they didn't succeed. But it went on. They went on in a manhunt. So Nnamdi Kanu was forced to flee the municipal boundaries of Nigeria in search of safe haven overseas. Eventually, in May 2021, he settled in Kenya. He entered Nairobi and settled in Kenya somewhere. He never knew that Nigerian security forces, the international branch of it, were laying in wait for him. They led an ambush for him. So on 19th June 2021, he drove himself to Jomo Kenyatta International Airport on a personal errand. As soon as he drove into the parking lot and alighted from his vehicle, several well-armed security men suspected to be of a mixture of Nigerian and Kenyan security forces swooped on him, grabbed him, abducted him, and put him forcibly in a vehicle and drove away. Well, they didn't take him to the police station. They didn't take him to immigration because he was a foreigner. He should have been taken to immigration. They didn't take him to any official law enforcement facility. They took him to a secret location in Nairobi, a non-official secret location. So in effect, they disappeared him. And they kept him at that secret location for a whole 8 days. And those 8 days he endured horrendous torture. All these are matters of record between the various tribunals and courts before whom this matter has been brought. I cannot begin to give you all the details. Horrendous torture in violation of basic human rights, in violation of the laws of Kenya, Nigeria, and the international community. When Nnamdi Kanu was abducted on 19th June 2021, the proper thing that should have been done is to take him to a police station, from there to a court. And then if you wanted him back in Nigeria, you subject him to what is called extradition proceedings. This is a basic tenet of the law that you see in the laws of any nation. Kenya has an extradition act to which Nnamdi Kanu should have been subjected. But guess what? They didn't do that. They rather disappeared him for 8 days, tortured him to their heart's content. And on 27th June, they secretly brought him out from this location and took him through the back doors, evading Kenyan immigration, direct to the tarmac of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, Nairobi, where a private plane was waiting. They bundled him into the plane, chained him to the chair, and everything. He endured 5-6 hours flight from Nairobi to Kenya in the most excruciating circumstances. They arrived in Nigeria late in the evening and the plane flew back to Nairobi. They took him to the headquarters of the National Intelligence Agency in Abuja, where he spent the first night with all the lights left on to assure his maximum discomfort. The following day, they transferred him to the headquarters of Directorate of State Security in Abuja. And on the third day, they brought him before the Federal High Court in Abuja. The Federal High Court was well aware that Nnamdi Kanu has counsel of record. It was an open case, it wasn't a new case, a pre-existing case. But the Federal High Court decided to conduct the arraignment in violation of his constitutional right to counsel, and that arraignment led to the indefinite detention with which we are struggling today. Anyways, taking you back a few steps, the little military invasion of 2017 was not unrequited, judicially speaking. I took the matter before two tribunals, or a tribunal and a court. First, I took it to the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, which rendered a decision in March 2018 condemning the action and calling it a violation of the African Charter. And they wrote to the President of Nigeria, they wrote a letter to the President of Nigeria requesting him or directing him. They used diplomatic language, but the decision was there that what you did is wrong, so you need to roll it back. You need to reverse everything you have done, which includes declaration of IPOB as a terrorist organization and hounding their members as criminals. The African Commission held that what Nigerian government was doing was persecution, not prosecution. That the IPOB and its members simply possess an inconvenient political opinion which the Nigerian government was seeking to suppress by means of punishment of some sort. And they asked or directed Nigerian government to reverse itself. Nigerian government never did. Rather, it escalated. Well, subsequently, I went to a local court, a high court in Abia State in eastern Nigeria. I sued the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Nigerian Army, and other parties who were confederates in that attack of September 2017. And in January 2022, fortunately for us, we won. The High Court made an order. The High Court reached a judgment that what happened to Nnamdi Kanu in September 2017 was a flagrant violation of his constitutional right to life and constitutional right to his privacy. And the court proceeded to make an order ordering the federal government of Nigeria or Federal Republic of Nigeria to pay him a compensation of 1 billion Nigerian naira, which is over $1 million US. The court also ordered the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the President of Nigeria to issue a public apology to be published in 3 national Nigerian newspapers to Nnamdi Kanu. None of this has happened. So we kept that aside. So when they brought Nnamdi Kanu forcibly from Kenya without extradition proceedings, I characterized it an act of extraordinary rendition. Initially, there was a misunderstanding, a broad, widespread misunderstanding by vast majorities of Nigerians who were mouthing the cliche, Nnamdi Kanu extradited from Kenya. No, that was wrong. He wasn't. I told people he wasn't. He was extraordinarily renditioned or rendered, and that is against international law, Kenyan law, and laws of the Federation of Nigeria. So while his criminal trial was making its way slowly at Abuja, with all the several amendments the government was bringing, they walked away from treasonable felony, insulting the president, importation of radio equipment, and bam, to terrorism. That's how it happened. And they did this 7 times. 7 amendments. If Nnamdi Kanu was guilty, why is it taking so long to bring him to trial between 2015 and today? That is 8 years. So what he's undergoing is not really a judicial trial. It's a trial by ordeal. Trial by fire. Imprisonment before conviction. They just want to get as many years of jail time out of him as possible, because they know that with the evidence available, conviction will be impossible. And that was made worse by the extraordinary rendition, which I took also as a civil violation to a federal high court in Nigeria. And in October 2022, the federal high court came down with a judgment that extraordinary rendition was a violation of his constitutional rights, his fundamental rights, and they awarded him 500 million Nigerian naira. That's about $800,000. So all around, everywhere that this matter has gone to, including in July 2022, before the Human Rights Council at the United Nations. The Human Rights Council, United Nations, came down with an opinion that what happened to Nnamdi Kanu in Kenya and that brought him to Nigeria is a very grave violation of international law. And they directed that he should be released unconditionally. And of course, the Court of Appeal in Nigeria did come down with a similar judgment in same October 2022, discharging Nnamdi Kanu of all charges and bearing any further trial of his person in any court in Nigeria as a consequence, as a direct consequence of the extraordinary rendition. So what more can you ask for a man to deserve his freedom? How many have I counted? United Nations, which in this case should be considered a world court. Then you have the Nigerian Court of Appeal, which is the second highest court in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Then you have the Federal High Court, which is the court of first instance at the federal level. And of course, you have the State High Court that awarded him 1 billion Nigerian naira. So between 2015 and today, 8 years and running, Nnamdi Kanu has snagged 4 major victories against the Federal Republic of Nigeria, with Federal Republic of Nigeria winning nothing. What more do you need as stark evidence, affirmative evidence that what is happening here, ladies and gentlemen, is an act of persecution, not prosecution? It's time to end it. On his behalf, I will ask all men and women of goodwill everywhere in the world to speak up. There was this saying about Jews. When they came for the Jew, you said nothing. When they came for the Jew, you said nothing because you're a trade unionist. Then when they came for the trade unionist, you say, well, I'm a scientist. You said nothing. They took the Jew, they took the trade unionist. And then when they came for the scientists, nobody spoke for you. Nnamdi Kanu is a poster boy for all the injustices that a great race, the Igbo people, and their cousins in the former eastern Nigeria have been subjected to since the founding of Nigeria. These injustices became more public because since 2015 they have been escalated. So how do you fight back? You fight back by telling the system, I want out. I want my own country is not a crime. It does not require a bullet. It doesn't require muscular military law enforcement. What it requires is sitting across the table and talking about it. A lot of nations have been founded on referendum. That's what Nnamdi Kanu and the indigenous people of Biafra were asking for. That led to all this conundrum, to all this saga.
When the president calmed down, the reason Nnamdi Kanu have a discussion with him. You have been having a discussion with bandits and the so-called repentant Boko Haram. Tell me the offense of Nnamdi Kanu, because he's agitating for self-determination, which is his own constitutional fundamental rights granted to him by the Constitution and the law.
Well, the government's angle is not because of the agitation, because they know that everyone has a right to agitate. But they said the way he was going about it,
like
and then people were being incited. Well, that's even not what I'm
what of the one? What of the one? The wife of the president incited people during the election. The wife of the president, he incited people that Igbo should go. What of the one of Lagos said that Igbo should go and fall into lagoon? What of those that came out and said that Igbos will not vote? If you are not voting for APC, you will not vote. What happened to them? Has anybody been arrested? That Nnamdi Kanu said something, then you now term that thing he said as is a terrorist, is a crime of terrorism. You charge him for terrorism. His own lawful organization that is registered in almost all the whole countries in America and Europe and Asia, and you now came to Nigeria, you term it a terrorist organization. Now you are now saying that now that IPOB is being recognized in almost all the whole countries in America and Europe. So you are now saying that America, France, Germany, they are recognizing a terrorist organization because you don't want anybody to agitate. You want to suppress anybody. If you talk, kill him, suppress him, jail him. In a country that is predicated on constitutional governance, it cannot work like that.
Okay, let's get back to the ministerial nomination of Bianca Ojukwu, because you said he took away one from Anambra and brought in another. But remember that the president took away the minister based on the KPI results that came out, which he was not even the one, that did the evaluation. It was the result given to him with which he did that, meaning that if actually the minister had performed, above board in the KPI, he wouldn't have had any reason to remove her rather.
Now, still on that ministerial list, we have 48 of them, am I right? And we have 36 states in this country, including FCT 37. So, apart from Southeast, that have only 5, every other region have more than 6, apart from Southeast. Now, check since 1999, we have been having series of presidents. Let's use what is going on now. The president is from where? Vice is from where? Speaker is from where? Senate President is from where? CJN is from where? Court of Appeal President is from where? National Industrial Court President is from where? Chief Judge of Federal High Court is from where? And they are saying that the people of Southeast belongs to this country.
The chief of
are you sure Max, are you sure you're not? I mean, it's just like what I said too. I mean, isn't it time we started to be less sentimental about this diversity?
We have to apply it now. We are talking about, we are saying that the only people that are qualified to hold on this position, nobody from South is qualified. On what basis?
Are you saying that
the chief of Naval Staff is from the Southeast? Huh? The chief of Naval Staff?
From where? I'm talking about the key position. Number 1 person, number 2 person, number 3 person, number 4 person, number 5 person. The key position, we have 3 arms of government: the executive, the judiciary, and the parliament. You can never see anybody from Southeast there. Now, the point we are talking about is that when I'm not even talking about, I'm in court about lopsided appointments.
Okay.
I can avail that my process because I did an intensive research in that process. File it, asking court to view whether this particular appointment, whether this particular governance is in line with Federal Character Establishment Act, an act of National Assembly that said that you should carry everybody along. Section 14 of the Constitution also said that you should carry everybody along. And we are not doing all these things. You are telling me that, yes, now that you have removed Kennedy Ohanele and you are now brought in Bianca Ojukwu, that the people of Southeast will jubilate. Are you talking to idiots? Look at the people that you are talking about. Check, let me start with the source. In football, the people that have made Nigeria proud are the people of Southeast. In commerce, in aviation industry, name it. In academics, they are from people of Southeast. But when it comes to power, they are not qualified. And we want them to be happy. Listen, let me tell you, like today that is Monday, go to Southeast. And my annoyance is that these things are avoidable for Christ's sake. The one at Niger, the reason and the Kanu, let us start addressing this issue. This early morning, somebody sent me a clip, something they posted, that they said from, I think they said next week, the next 2 weeks, that there will be nothing like federal courts in the whole of Southeast. What do I mean by federal courts? Federal courts, National Industrial Court is a federal court. Federal High Court is a federal court. Court of Appeal is a federal court. Now, the judges that are there, most of them are not Igbos. Majority of them are not Igbos. How should you risk somebody to go and preside in the Court of Appeal over the Judicial Division, Oka Judicial Division, Enugu Judicial Division? How can you appoint somebody to go and preside in Federal High Court in the Southeast, National Industrial Court in the Southeast? And you are not even thinking about all this, and the judges are not even thinking about So the point we are talking about is that when there is a problem, look for a solution. Personally, somebody like us, we're not even, I'm defending Nnamdi Kanu, one of his lawyers. So when they say so you people are not doing what you're supposed to do, the person that is calling you, don't even know him. He's using a hidden number to call you. You don't even know what they're talking about. The only thing that you went to court and you were unable to bring Nnamdi Kanu out. They're not even safe.
Okay, Maxwell, let me ask you this, because from what you're saying, I've also heard IPOB many times deny, allegations of being involved in some of the killings that happen in the Southeast and some of the, the ills that we see in the society. Even the sit-at-home in question, IPOB has also claimed that he has not asked anybody to sit at home. I don't know, get my point. So the point I'm making is that from what you're saying, it would look as if what you're actually trying to say is that it's because Nnamdi is being held, that is why, the ills in the society in the Southeast has escalated. Does it have anything to do with him? That is what you're saying?
You know why? Nnamdi Kanu, IPOB is his initiative. He established it, he organized it. Now, when you now kidnapped him or abducted him, and unlawfully, because the Supreme Court have said that he was unlawfully brought into this country, and you kept him incommunicado, everybody on his own. This one we kill, you said at IPOB. This one we maim, you said at IPOB. Everybody on his own. That's why I ask you the question, who is IPOB? The IPOB is Nnamdi Kanu. So Nnamdi Kanu, if Nnamdi Kanu is out, you will know who is who. Simon Ekpa will talk his own, Emma Powerful will talk his own, this one will talk his own, this one. Who is IPOB? That you are even talking. Simon Ekpa is in Finland. Emma Powerful, I don't know where he's operating from. Another person is operating from somewhere. Issuing threats. Just like the one somebody told me. I don't even know where that one is coming from. So the easiest way to do is the one that you know. Nnamdi Kanu. Then tell Attorney General, as he discontinue the charges against the president of Mieti Allah Kato, discontinue that of Showore, they are all terrorism. Tell them to discontinue that of Nnamdi Kanu and allow Nnamdi Kanu to agitate. It is his right. I told you the other day.
You see, that's where the problem is, really. The guarantee, that there will not be problems, even if Nnamdi Kanu is. Because you're saying allow him to agitate, and he goes about it the way he used to, like, the government have actually feared. That may also create more problems, don't you think?
Let me tell you, there are some things that you asked me the other day whether they are talking about condition giving Nnamdi Kanu. I told you one question. I said, if you give Nnamdi Kanu condition that he feel after meeting up that condition, he will still live like a human being, so be it. But when you give him condition and you are removing that made him a human being, he will tell you no. What is that made you a human being? That thing that makes you a human being is your ability to exercise your fundamental rights. And when somebody said, now I'm going to employ you here, I will be paying you $500,000 every month, but you will not talk, you will not move out, you say, do away with your job. When somebody said, I'm going to release you, but I'll cut one of their hands, say no. The agitation for self-determination is a fundamental right. And if you people fail to understand it, I can agitate that I need the Republic of Maxwell. It is my right. Anybody can agitate. I don't even need crowd to follow me. It is when you now feel that you have gotten the necessary need the necessary qualities, then so be it. It is now left for the president, who believe in democracy, who believe in government of the people by the people, to apply an initiative. What is the initiative? Release the person, start addressing all those issues that gave rise to this agitation. It has been there. Uwazirike was agitating during Obasanjo. A lot of people were agitating. So now that you have arrested, you come down Uwazirike that time, Nnamdi Kanu came up. Now that you have arrested Nnamdi Kanu, Simon Ekpa is there. I think this data from Ned Nwoko was telling you that even if you arrest Simon Ekpa today, another Simon Ekpa will come out. So the issue there is that address all those issues.
So for you, it's not about ministerial appointment.
No. That one.
Okay,
that one is the complete distraction. That one should not be.
So guys, you guys have heard from the lawyers of Nnamdi Kanu. You heard what they said about Nnamdi Kanu. Everything they heated, but their points was valid. And everything they said about Nnamdi Kanu. Now, I'm telling you guys, one thing. The case of Nnamdi Kanu shows that in Nigeria, being Igbo or openly pro-Biafra can be criminalized, not because of any crime, but because of identity. Nigeria has never sincerely sat down with its various people to ask, do you want to remain in tune? Instead, it uses force. Kanu's case is proof of this failure. Dragging Kanu to court is less about legal justice and more about sending a message of fear to millions of others who might dare to speak. Every time Kanu is paraded in court, memories of the Biafran War are revived. The government may think it is silencing him, but it is reminding people of wounds never healed. By obeying political masters instead of the constitution, Nigerian judges are showing that the judiciary is no longer independent, but a puppet or theater. The more Kanu suffers, the more Biafrans abroad mobilize. His case has transformed into a unifying force for the diaspora, raising funds, lobbying, and creating awareness worldwide. Lawyers, judges, and politicians are all profiting from this endless cycle of court adjournments. Kanu has become an industry of injustice where everyone eats before the victim suffers. If Nigeria truly believed it was one united, indestructible country, why does it fear the words of one man? His detention proves Nigeria's insecurity about its own survival. Young Nigerians see this injustice and conclude, if peace and democracy don't work, maybe violence is the only way. This perception is dangerous for Nigerians' future. Terrorist groups kidnap, kill, and destroy, yet they walk free while Kanu, who spoke into a microphone, is in chains. It shows the government has misplaced its enemy. Kanu is no longer just an Igbo leader. He has become a global symbol of resistance, just like Mandela, Gandhi, and others who were once political or prisoners. Many Nigeria mainstream media avoid telling Kanu's story truthfully, either out of fear or bribery. That is why I always tell you guys, you see one thing about I like myself is because I always state the fact and the truth here. I always will state facts. So please, if you know you're new to this channel, please do well to type in the comment section free Nnamdi Kanu, because we use this platform to agitate for the release of Nnamdi Kanu and as well as everything concerning Nnamdi Kanu. Now, many Nigerian mainstream media avoid telling Kanu's story truthfully, either out of fear or bribery. This silence exposes how deep corruption and censorship run in the country. By keeping Kanu in chains, the government has only multiplied his influence. Millions who never knew him before now chant his name daily. Those who jailed Kensaro Wiwa decades ago thought they silenced him. Today, he's celebrated as a martyr. The same mistake is repeating with Nnamdi Kanu. History always bends towards justice. It may be slow, it may take years, but the longer Kanu remains unjustly imprisoned, the more inevitable his heroic vindication becomes. So please, guys, I want you, to do something for me, because there's a normal ritual we normally do in this platform. So please, I want you to type in the comment section free Nnamdi Kanu, so that the Nigerian government will understand that this man is innocent, because we use this platform to agitate for the release of Nnamdi Kanu and to tell the whole world that he's innocent, as well as the Nigerian government. So please do well to type in the comment section free Nnamdi Kanu, and also justice delayed is not justice denied. So guys, let's go on now. The theater of delay. Every adjournment is not justice, it's punishment. By endlessly postponing the government ensures Kanu suffers without a verdict. Delay itself has become the sentence. Kanu is both Nigerian and British, yet neither country is willing to protect him fully. This exposes the weakness of international citizenship when politics is involved. Militants in the Niger Delta received amnesty and billions of naira. Bandits in the north are called repentant terrorists, but Kanu, who used only a microphone, is denied mercy. When Kanu stands in court, it is not just him. Every Igbo and every Biafran sympathizer is symbolically on trial. It's collective punishment disguised as legal process. Many Igbo politicians remain silent or even collaborate with Abuja out of fear of losing power. Their silence is betrayal that deepens the pain of ordinary people. By keeping him in prison, the government has elevated Kanu into a mythical war hero, untouchable and larger than life. Even his silence speaks louder than their propaganda. By ignoring rulings from foreign courts that ordered Kanu's release, Nigeria shows it does not respect international law. This weakens its global credibility. Every injustice adds pressure to a boiling point. One day, one small spark, possibly related to Kanu, may unleash uncontrollable mass anger across the region. Just like South Africa, once thought Mandela would die in prison. Everybody were thinking that Nelson Mandela would die in prison, but it shocked them that he came out of prison and even became the president of South Africa. It shocked them. They didn't believe it. They made him a political prisoner. They made Nelson Mandela a political prisoner. That is the same thing that's happening to Nnamdi Kanu now. So just like South Africa once thought that Mandela would die in prison and be forgotten, Nigerians think the same about Kanu. But history shows prisoners of conscience never die in memory. They never. So by showing Kanu in chains, weak or sick, the government is not just punishing him. It is trying to mentally break his followers. But the opposite happens. Their anger deepens. A state exists to protect its citizens by adopting Kanu unlawfully. Nigeria broke its own social contract with the people, proving the state is not the oppressor. The more Nigeria hides Kanu, the more Biafra becomes global. From London to Washington, protests rise. The diaspora is internationalizing the struggle faster than Nigeria can suppress it. Kanu has become a pawn in Nigeria's political games, used during elections to frighten voters to bargain for power and to distract from failures of governance. Each day, Kanu is kept in chains. The Nigerian state loses moral authority, while Kanu gains it. In the eyes of history, Judicial is always weaker than the prisoner. No matter how long Nigeria delays, in the end, they must sit at the table of dialogue. The question is, will it be with peace or will it be with bloodshed later? Anyway, guys, that's all we have for today. Let me know your thoughts below. And also, if you know you're new to this channel, please do well, to subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification button to be getting every latest news in this channel. And also, please don't forget there's a normal ritual we normally do in this channel. Please do type in the comment section, free Nnamdi Kanu. And also, justice delay is not justice denied, because we use this platform to agitate for the release of Nnamdi Kanu and everything concerning him. So, guys, don't also forget that on 10th October 2025, he's going to be coming to court, and I'll be giving you guys latest updates concerning Nnamdi Kanu and everything about him. And also, if you know you're new to this channel, if you're just coming across this channel, please do well to subscribe and hit the subscription button. So, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys again in my next live section.